My ancestors have been speaking to me today. They told me that they have paved the way for this generation now. We are finally at the generation where we get to experience the reaping of many, many generations and their great effort and their great perseverance, tolerance, and resilience. I am a Native American woman. I'm also an African American woman. I am also a part of a Spaniard bloodline, and I'm also a part of a German bloodline, as well as my roots go deep, deep in Saudi Arabia. And I understand I am the generation of woman that finally is the great triumph, that represents the great triumph of many women before me. As you can see that only recently women have this opportunity to express her queendom, and only recently have people of African American, Native American descent have the chance to come into the fullness of their artistry, come into the fullness of their spirituality. As we know, the generations before us have had to stand their ground and had to stand their ground their whole life, knowing that in their whole life they would not see the fruition of their constant moon magic, their constant intentions, their jazz clubs, their ceremonious celebrations and rituals. They knew, the generations before me knew, that it would take time and that the change would not happen, not in even my generation, that the change would be an ongoing effort to restore the spirituality, artistry, and prosperity of a higher dimensional experience on earth would require the continued tolerance and resilience of women, particularly women of color, and that I do mark the generation of the breakthrough and all the efforts before me, right, in standing up, standing out, and standing for one's self-esteem, one's self-worth, and for one's sovereignty was a quite daunting task. But many did it, and that's why I'm here today. I am a voyager, right? I'm an interdimensional traveler, as you can tell. Everything about me is a voyage, right? I voyaged from Saudi Arabia to Spain. I voyaged from Germany to North America. I have voyaged across the east of North America towards lands far away, right, in the Trail of Tears. I have experienced, you can say, the French Revolution and the many wars that are marked in me, that I have healed and I continue to heal. And I just want to take this moment to share with you all how these generations before us have really gave us the blueprint, and it's our duty to follow through. We are here now, this great moment, this breakthrough, this great triumph where we are finally free of these chains. And though the scars, right, when you have been chained, there is a mark on your wrists and your ankle. There's marks on us spiritually, mentally, emotionally, but those chains are gone. And in many places there are still chains that are dissolving with the heat of our dharma and the power of our creativity. It is dissolving these ancient old shackles and chains that have chained us up into small, poor, weak humans that have felt the weight of this world and have completely given up or destroyed ourselves. And now is the time where we finally get the opportunity to really recover and restore our elegance, our grace, and our creativity, so that we can very much take the blueprint that was given to us from our ancestors and really implement it into the world to potentiate this generation and the generations moving forward into a new paradigm of Earth we call the New Earth. And I believe this New Earth in many, many generations to come will basically be the fruitfulness of our demand for creativity as a woman, a Black woman, Native American woman, a Spaniard woman, Saudi Arabian woman, that through our gratitude, grace, and through our continued strength and great respect to the ancestors for all of their efforts that have brought us here today in this great breakthrough, we can breathe, we can exhale, we can finally let go of the shame, the grief, and the judgment and begin to rebuild ourselves, rebuild our identity, rebuild our culture, rebuild our spirituality as women, as the Ma frequency, as the high priestess, as the goddess, as the sovereign intelligence that belongs to a higher dimensional earth we call the New Earth, we call the Golden Age, we call an era of peace and harmony through the emotional maturity and intellectual ingenuity and physical strength that comes about through the generations who chose the creative mind and chose to develop it to its excellence. Human condition gives us shame, judgment, and feelings of not being good enough. We can destroy ourselves, belittle ourselves, and lose our grace, our patience, and our balance. Human compassion gives us strength, gives us creativity and soulfulness. It is our pathway to sovereignty and liberation. The human condition can feel quite stifling, quite toxic, and intoxicating. The human condition is our addiction, our obsession, and our great suffering. We can dwell in our poverty, we can dwell in our injustice, we can dwell in our upsets and our great dysfunctions. But human compassion is our dharma. It is the key to the internal self-discovery that brings this outward expression of grace. And in this internal self-discovery, this outward expression of grace becomes a muse to this earth. We inspire family, our community, we inspire our elders, and we inspire this land to heal and to transform what is arrhythmic about us, into finer rhythms, finer melodies, finer frequencies of knowledge and courage, because we know our soul's journey completion as human beings very much begins with human compassion and very much ends with human compassion. And though that human condition is our great enemy, challenger, adversity, opposition, obstacle, great setback, delay, but it's a part of our lesson the life lesson we all face, the great test we all must face in order for us to truly gain our wings. And the wings of us is the wisdom of us. It's the life well learned, the test well studied, the life lesson well completed, and our ability to become greater learners, to become greater students of life, greater students of the elders, the ancestors, the spirit realm, the land, the earth, learners of the history, the mistakes, as well as the great excellence of mankind. And in becoming greater students of life, we can actually begin to step into a higher quality of the mind, which is about having self-psychology, meditation, having a self-love, having an ability to manifest one's reality through the efforts of one's unification with the soul and the spirituality of the most natural and rhythmic celebration we have with ourselves.